Happy Sunday everybody, and welcome back to another video. So what I thought I would love to do for this week's video was go through kind of some of my favourite must-have makeup products, and I thought instead of me just kind of sitting here talking to you guys, which can sometimes get a little bit boring, I thought I would just do my everyday makeup routine because I've pretty much used some of these products for years. I really don't like to change up the products I use once I find something that works for me. So I thought, yeah, we could just have a little chat. I'll go through some of the products with you guys and you can see my everyday makeup routine. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. Don't forget to leave a huge thumbs up if you do. And yeah, let's just get started. So I brought you guys in a little bit closer so you can see what I'm doing. I am going to be doing my makeup in the viewfinder, which I've not actually tried to do before, so we'll see how this goes. So if I'm kind of looking off to the side, that is why. But the first product I use in my everyday makeup routine is the NYX Hydra Touch Primer. I'm going to tuck my hair behind my ears actually. Push it back so we can actually get started. Oh, isn't that a look? A couple of weeks ago, I probably would have said this was a must-have product of mine because I have literally used it for so long. It's so cheap and it's just lush. It's really kind of lightweight on the skin. It is really hydrating. It keeps your makeup on so well. It's really nice and cooling on the skin, so in the summer it is absolutely lush. But I've kind of been getting into other primers recently, just trying a few out. So I don't want to say this is like a must-have, but for an affordable primer, if you want something hydrating, this is definitely a go-to product because it is absolutely lush. Okay, so now I've done my primer, I always go in and do a little bit of color correcting. So I always use the LA Girl Pro Conceal. This is just obviously the shade green. I have gotten through probably about 3 tubes of this. I always colour correct. I know I'm not super red, but I can have days where I am. My chin especially likes to be nice and red all the time, and as I've talked to you guys recently about, I do get kind of dark spots on my cheeks where I have had some spots recently. Oh my god, that is so dirty. Let me go and clean my beauty blender. So what I was saying, the reason why I use this is because I really find it helps in like the longevity of my makeup. I always pop it on my nose because my nose seems to come through quite red during the day if I don't use it. I really don't even know how much I'm using of this. The viewfinder is not the best place to do your makeup. But yeah, so I literally just blend it in like this. I know it looks a little bit crazy now, but it really doesn't show any green through your makeup at all. Once you've put like your concealer and your foundation and everything on, it just helps to, throughout the day, say kind of a little bit of the makeup on your nose or your chin has worn off, it kind of stops the red from coming through, which in turn kind of makes it look like your makeup has stayed in place absolutely fine. Some people might find that they really do not need this at all, but for me it's definitely a must-have. I think if you have a good prep underneath your base and a good base, you just can't go wrong with your makeup. It will last all day and it will look absolutely flawless. And yeah, I just prefer to have a good base, I think. I've not really been much into like eyeshadows and stuff recently, but yeah, you do kind of look a little bit like a zombie once you've done it, or ill or something like that. If you guys did want to try this, it's literally £5 on Beauty Bay. I think you may be able to get it cheaper on Amazon, but I don't know how much I trust Amazon makeup products. But yeah, I really love this. It's super blendable, it doesn't dry out the skin, and they've got loads of shades for actual concealers or colour correctors or contour if you want to use it for that, so I definitely recommend this one. This might be a little bit weird to some of you, but the next thing I reach for is my concealer. So I have used this for so many years. These are the Collection Lasting Perfection concealers. They are so affordable. They're literally £4.19 in anywhere, I think. Superdrug, Tesco, I think Sainsbury's have actually just started selling Collection as well. When I first used to buy these, they were £2, which is crazy, but they've actually just changed the packaging, so they look a lot more kind of high end, and I think the tubes are bigger as well. The shade I'm going to use right now is Light Vanilla 9. I think it used to be Cool Medium 2, but they've changed all of the shade names too. I literally love this concealer so much because it is so high coverage, and again, it's literally like a quarter of the price of the high-end ones. I haven't really tried many high-end concealers just because I've been using this for so long, and it's so convenient for me to buy from my local supermarket and things like that, that I just love it. I know it might look like I'm using a shade that's a little bit too red for me, but it seems to work out really nicely. I've used Cool Medium 2 as my actual concealer for the longest time. I don't use it to highlight or anything, but I like to have a colour concealer that just matches my skin really nicely. And the reason I do my concealer underneath my foundation is I've just been kind of changing up the routine recently. I used to do it on top of my foundation, and if you forget to do it underneath, it really doesn't matter. But this is just how I've been liking to do it recently, but you do you, whatever you prefer to do. Then I just pop a little bit on my chin. I don't usually do this, but since I've had my scarring on my cheeks, I pop a load all over those. Bit on my nose because it likes to go nice and red, as I said, throughout the day. And I might just pop a little bit in here as well. And then I just blend that in with my beauty blender. And if you guys recognize, this is, oh god, it's so dirty. I have just washed it, as you would have seen. This is my Eco Tools beauty blender from my Look Fantastic box, and I'm still absolutely loving it and would recommend you guys try it out too. Also, another reason why I love to do my concealer underneath my foundation is because then I use less foundation, and we know how expensive foundation can be, so I think it just gives a really nice kind of smooth base for you to apply the foundation on top, and you really don't have to apply as much because you're already kind of perfected, if you know what I mean. So now we are going to be moving on to foundation. I'm so excited to tell you guys about my foundation because it's just the best. I love it so much, and I really haven't talked a lot about my foundation on this channel, so now you will finally know what I'm using. So for foundation, I actually use, it's very dirty at the moment, so I do apologise, the KVD, well, at the time of me buying this, it was actually still Kat Von D, KVD Vegan Beauty Locket Tattoo Foundation. I'm pretty sure that this is like my 4th bottle now. I have tried so many other foundations that just do not compare to this one. It's absolutely insane, super high coverage, but it doesn't look like foundation. It just looks like your skin, but it just completely covers any blemishes you have. It's a matte to semi-matte formula, I can't quite remember, but it doesn't dry your skin at all or look powdery. It's just really, really, really nice. I literally use this much all over my face. Sometimes I have to use a little bit more, you know, when we're having like a bad skin day. But usually if I apply my concealer underneath, it's usually about this much. And depending on what mood I'm in, I either use a foundation brush or my beauty blender. It just depends how I'm feeling that day, really. But today I think we're gonna go for the brush. Now on camera, this might look a really bad shade for me because of all the lighting, but I promise you it is literally such a nice shade. This colour matches me in the summer when I've got a tan, it matches me in the winter. It's a little bit dark for me in the winter, but I just kind of blend it down my neck and it's fine. Oh, another thing I absolutely love about this foundation, and it's the only one I've ever tried that doesn't do it, it doesn't change colour throughout the day or oxidize, as you would call it. A lot of foundations you put on and they're one colour in the morning, they can match you completely perfectly, and throughout the day, I don't really know how to explain it scientifically, but the foundation kind of mixes with the oxygen, I really don't know, but it oxidizes and it will turn a really horrible kind of orangey tone. But this one literally stays the exact same all day. I can wear it literally for hours and hours and hours and it will not change colour. It never goes patchy at all. Sometimes parts of your foundation can cling to certain dry spots on your skin, and this really never happens with this foundation. It's so lush. I honestly can't explain to you guys how much I love it. I really hope they never discontinue it because I would genuinely use it for the rest of my life if I can. I used to only be able to get it at Debenhams, but obviously Debenhams isn't really a thing anymore, and it was only Debenhams online. and they were always sold out. They never had my shade. I really had to just buy it when I could. But I just found yesterday, as I was trying to look up a little bit of information for you guys, that they now sell it in Boots, which is amazing. It's quite pricey. It's £27 for a bottle, but it lasts a really, really long time because it's so full coverage. You don't have to use a lot. And compared to some other like high-end foundations, it's really not that bad. Right, that is now done. Another thing with the KVD range, actually, not just the foundations, is that they have, sorry, I'm organising my makeup over here, is that they have an amazing shade range. They have warm tones, cool tones, pink tones, yellow tones, neutral tones, which is amazing for me because I am very much a neutral tone, which I can never, ever, ever find in other brands. I either have to go too red and too pinky or a bit too yellow. They have a massive shade range, every single skin tone you could think of. They're so inclusive, right down to literally they have a foundation that is just pure white, I think. It's insane. It also is a 24-hour foundation, so it will stay on forever. I wear this to festivals, raves, you name it. I wear this everywhere and it is always flawless. So I absolutely love that one. That is probably my most must-have makeup product. It is absolutely phenomenal and I will continue to buy that foundation literally forever. Next up, we are going to go back to another of my collection concealers. We're going to be using Extra Fair number 4. This is super, super light for my skin, but I like to use it just to kind of highlight before I do my powders. The only thing with this concealer is that you do have to work in sections because it is super fast drying. So if I did my cheeks, my forehead, my chin, it would be dry by the time I get back to blending it. And then you'd have kind of stripes on your face. So just be really wary about that. I always like to use it in sections because it does dry and then leave marks. Oh my gosh, I just realised I'm covering up my whole face. I'm gonna just pop a little bit on my chin and there, and a little bit on my nose. The next step in my makeup process is my powder. At the moment I'm using the Laura Mercier translucent loose powder. I really, really love this one, but I wouldn't say it's kind of a must-have. I haven't tried enough powders to tell you guys whether this one is like the best powder, but it's a really, really nice one. It doesn't change the colour of your base at all. It's really lightweight and really finely milled, so it's not kind of chunky or super powdery on your skin. It seems to keep my makeup nice and matte and my skin tone even throughout the day. It is really pricey though. I think it's about £30 for this powder, and considering I used to use talc as my powder, that's definitely a step up in price range. I don't use a lot of it, so it has lasted me a really, really, really long time. I literally just pop the tiniest little bit on under my eyes to set all of the creams we've used. On my nose because it gets quite oily throughout the day, and my chin, and then my forehead as well. I really want to try out the Fenty Beauty powder because I've heard that is absolutely amazing. But if you guys have any recommendations of powders to try that I can also use as like a baking powder sometimes, I would really, really appreciate that because I'd love to give some others a go and then let you know what my must-have powder is. Okay, next I'm going to be bronzing this face up because at the moment we are all kind of one colour. As you guys know, I use the Too Faced Milk Chocolate Soleil bronzer. I've used this one for absolutely years, about the same time that I've used my KVD foundation because I used to get them both from Debenhams from the same place. I haven't got this one written down as one of my must-haves, but I do repurchase it literally every single time I need a new bronzer. I've used I need my mirror, sorry guys. I've used the Hoola bronzer from Benefit, which is really, really nice. It's just quite a small size. This one's really nice because it's quite like a cool toned bronzer, whereas some of them can be super orange and they just look not great at all. Yeah, because this one kind of acts as like a bit of a contour as well. As you can see, it's kind of sucking in my cheeks. So I just use a really big brush. I really try and take it back to my ears and in my hairline as well because I hate to have a line, and then just kind of over my eyes as well. Just kind of think where you would hit the sun if you were out in the sun. I just like to make it look as natural as possible. And then I just pop a little bit under my jawbone, I don't know, and down my neck as well, just to blend it all in, because we don't want to look different colours in different places. And I'm also going to take a smaller brush and just pop a little bit of my bronzer on there, and then just pop a little bit down the sides of my nose. I really don't contour my nose a lot, just a tiny bit. I used to use an actual contour shade on it, but I just found my nose looked a bit grey, and I would have people be like, why have you got stuff on your nose? Like, what is on your nose? So I just started using this, and then it kind of blends in with the whole bronzy skin vibe. But I really don't do anything special, just a little bit down the edges and then on the tip as well. Next, I'm going to be using the NARS blusher in shade Orgasm. This is just the iconic blusher. Everybody knows this one. I've really been loving it recently. I was always a massive fan of matte blushers. I really didn't like anything with a shimmer in at all. I felt like it just made your makeup look too shimmery and too glittery. But for some reason, I don't know whether it's because it's winter and my skin's just not as glowy as normal, I have been absolutely loving this one. So I just take an angled brush. As you can tell, this is the only one I use for blusher because it's pink on the end. Pop some of that on there. I always apply probably a bit more blusher than I should as well, just because by the time I've actually made it out of the house, my blusher would have faded a little bit. And then I go in with a really quick contour. As you guys know, I don't use anything special. I just use my Zoeva brow palette. I know that's really bad to use that for contour, but I just find that this shade here is the perfect kind of cool tone brown that gives me a really nice contour. Before this, I used to use a MAC eyeshadow, which was the same sort of color, just because I use a specific bronzer and a specific highlighter anyway. So I just think there's no point me buying a whole contour palette just for one shade. I don't do anything super precise with this, just because this is like an everyday look. It's just kind of to define everything really. As you can tell, I spend a lot more time on my skin than I do like on eyes. So don't worry, this isn't going to be like a 2-hour long makeup look just for every day, but I do like to make sure I've got a good base. And then just as like a little extra touch, I don't do this all the time, but I take my Laura Mercier powder on a dry beauty blender. This is a really old one, so please don't judge. And I just pop a little bit underneath my cheekbones just to clean everything up, make sure it's looking nice and neat. And I just leave that there while I do the rest of my makeup just to set in. So once I have completed my base, then I will go on to brows. At the moment, I'm using the NYX Micro Brow Pencil. This isn't my must-have pencil because I couldn't actually find it at the time I needed a new brow pencil. I usually use I think it's the NYX Precision Brow. It's got kind of like an angled tip on it. It's a lot thicker, whereas this one is super, super thin and fine, which is not my fave because I like to just get my brows done. I really don't enjoy doing my brows at all. If I can, I will tint my eyebrows a lot darker so that when I do my makeup, I really don't have to fill them in. But I just kind of give them a little brush through. There is a spoolie on the end, so literally just give them a brush through. My eyebrows are quite dark anyway, so they really don't need a lot of filling in. Another reason why I love the NYX brow pencils, I use the shade Ash Brown by the way, is because they do the ash brown shade, and I've got really a kind of ashy toned eyebrows, and I find a lot of ash brown or brown brow pencils are really, really orangey, and they leave you with like orange lines around your eyebrows where you've actually filled them in. So yeah, I absolutely love them for that. Then I kind of just use a angled brush just to kind of feather it out in the inner corner because I don't want anything too blocky or harsh. Okay, so now that is done, I'm not going to go in with any concealer and clean up the edges or anything, just because this is our everyday makeup look, so I really don't bother with anything like that in my everyday look. So what I'm going to do next, this is definitely a must-have product in my everyday makeup look, or in just every single makeup look possible. I could not live without this product. It is the NYX Control Freak Brow Gel. This, although it won't look it because I've really dirtied it up by using it so much, is a clear brow gel. I cannot live without a clear brow gel. I really don't like to use pigmented ones because I feel like when I brush this through my brows, it just really makes the hairs stand out and my brows just look so much more natural, and it just kind of blends in the brow pencil that I've just done and stops them looking too kind of blocky or anything like that. When you use this brow gel, your eyebrows will not move, I promise you. It is so heavy duty. It does, when you touch them, make your brows feel a little bit crispy, but I really don't mind. I've used brow gels in the past that you put them on and then you go back later on in the day and for some reason your eyebrows have just turned orange or grey. And also on days I'm not wearing makeup, I use this through my brows as well with no brow pencil, and it just sets them in place and you know that they're not going to move anywhere and look all crazy. And I absolutely love this one. It's £6.50 from NYX, so super affordable, and think again this is like my third or fourth tube. Because this is my everyday makeup look, I really don't do anything fancy with my eyes. All I'm gonna do is take my Too Faced Milk Chocolate Soleil bronzer again and run that through the crease and also under my eyes as well. I'm gonna be using the same brush that I used for my nose contour, so nothing special, and then literally just pop it in the crease. It just kind of ties in the bronziness from your skin to your eyes, and yeah, it just kind of ties it together. I find that because I've got a really big eyelid space, I don't really know what you're meant to call it, if I don't do this, my eyelids just look really white and they just kind of stand out. It's really strange. So I think this just kind of ties the whole look together and just, yeah, makes everything look nice and bronzy. And I just kind of blend that up as well. I always like to pop eyeshadow underneath my eye as well. I don't know why, it just suits me. I hate not having anything under my eyes. It just looks really weird. I think because my eyes are so big, it just kind of frames them and makes them look less massive and abnormal. But yeah, some people don't like to do this, but that is just what I like to do. It's super easy and quick. And that is our eyeshadow done. Oh, actually, no, it's not, because I know some people don't like to do this anymore, but I do like to pop some highlighter on my brow bone and in the inner corner of my eye. I am going to be using the Stila Heaven's Hue highlighter, I think. This is a really new one for me. I've only been using it for a couple of months. This is in the shade Kitten, and it's so cool. It's like a putty highlighter. So I don't know if you guys can see, but I can press it. You can press, and it's like putty. It's so fun to play with. Although this is part of my everyday makeup routine, I haven't actually put it as one of my must-have makeup products, just because I really haven't found the perfect highlighter for me yet. I thought this would be it, and it is a really nice one, but I wouldn't say it's a must-have. If anyone's got any highlighter recommendations for me, I don't like it to be too glittery. Definitely more of like a glowy highlighter person. This one is quite expensive, and I've tried ones that are cheaper that were actually still quite nice. So yeah, it is a really nice one, really nice shade, but I wouldn't say it is a must-have. It's just because I've bought it. It's the one I'm using until it runs out, really. But yeah, that is literally it for the eyes. I'm gonna pop some mascara on now, but I really don't do anything fancy at all. The mascara I am using today and have used for absolutely ages is the L'Oreal False Lash Architect. It is £11, I think. Not a must-have. I really like it. It's not a waterproof one because I really hate using waterproof mascaras. They just ruin my lashes. It's really nice. It keeps your lashes lifted all day. It doesn't make them look clumpy or anything. I've not been absolutely loving it recently, which is why I'm not telling you guys it is an absolute must-have. Definitely a lovely mascara if you are thinking of trying a new one out. It kind of combs them, so it keeps them really nice and separated. They don't go clumpy at all, and it doesn't crumble down my face, which is a massive thing with mascara. I absolutely hate when you've been wearing it all day and it is just crumbled completely down your face and it just ruins the rest of your makeup. So this one sits really nicely all day, but I'm just kind of feeling like trying out a new one. I've seen that Maybelline have a new mascara out, which I really want to try. I can't remember the name of it now, so I might give that one a try next. And then I just go ahead and pop a tiny little bit on my bottom lashes. As you can see, I've definitely got a bit of mascara on my eyelids. I always get mascara on my eyelids. I cannot do my mascara without doing that for some reason, but I'll tell you a little hack later on to get rid of it once the mascara has dried. That is the first part of the top tip. Always leave the mascara to dry. If you try and do it while it's wet, you will get smudgy black mess all over your eyes. So just be patient and leave it. Sometimes I forget and end up leaving it there all day, which is really, really bad. But yeah, if you remember, it's a really good top tip. So just stick around for that one. Now that I have finished the eye look, I'm going to go ahead and wipe off this bake underneath my cheekbones. It just, as you can see, just neatens everything up a bit. And then I just use whatever's left on this big fluffy brush to pop over my chin. And then I pop a little bit on my forehead too. I don't know why, I just always do this. And before I go on to my highlighter, I do some little touch-ups. So I'll just pop a little bit more bronzer on where I think I need it, a little bit more blusher, just because where I've been doing my makeup and then wiped off that bake, it can sometimes dull down the colours a little bit. I'm just going to go ahead and do that now. Literally just 1 or 2 swipes, just to kind of finish it off. These steps are probably super unnecessary, but I just have to do them. If I don't do them, I feel like my makeup hasn't gone right. So this is just what I do. And then just a little bit more of the NARS blush. Also, I feel like once you've done your eyes, you can get a better feel of the amount you need, because sometimes your eyes can look really dramatic, so you'll need a bit more blush and stuff. Sometimes you're going for a bit more neutral, so you won't need as much. So you can just kind of get a feel of what you want it to look like. Okay, so then I'm going to take my Stila highlighter once again and just, I always use a brush. I think with this one you can use your fingers. I just prefer to use a brush. So if you can look in the camera, I kind of see where the natural glow of the light is, and then just pop it there where the light would naturally hit. I always find this side so much harder to do. I don't know why. And a little bit on my chin, my top lip, and then I get my tiny little brush a bit down the center of my nose as well. So next I'm going to do my lip liner. I wouldn't say the brand of lip liner is specifically the must-have part of it. It's definitely the shade. I always use a brown shade lip liner, if you can see. It doesn't have to be this dark. This is just the one I have at the moment. This is the NYX matte lip liner, and it's the shade Cold Brew. I really like the NYX ones. They're super affordable again, so if that's the one you want to go for, then that's amazing. But any brown liner I love to use. It just goes with any lip colour. I find it so hard to match lip colours, and sometimes they just don't suit, so I prefer to use a brown. I have so many coloured lip liners that I've tried in the past. I've got literally tons in my makeup box for clients, but whenever I go out to do a makeup client, I always end up using just the brown one. So I definitely would recommend having a brown lip liner in your makeup bag, just as a staple one that you can use every single day. As you can tell, this one is very loved. It is absolutely tiny. So yeah, I just pop this all over my lips. Obviously I'm not going to be able to talk to you guys while I'm doing it, because otherwise it's going to end up in the weirdest shape. And then while it looks a little bit crazy, I take a lip brush. Well, this isn't actually a lip brush, it's just the brush I use for my lips, and I just go and blend the lines, so they're definitely not as harsh as this, because this looks a bit 90s at the moment. Okay, so that is now all blended. Another reason why I love using brown lip liner, I don't need to do it so much anymore because I've had lip fillers, but it's really good for overlining your lips if that is something you like to do. And also it just really defines your lip line, which I know sounds really stupid because it is a lip liner, but it just gives a really nice defined crisp edge, and I just prefer using brown to any other lip colour. So definitely give this a try. Let me know what you guys think. I have used brown lip liner for so many years now and tried to use different colours, and it just never works for me. So I love to use this one. And then I'm just going to pop on some lipstick. My absolute favourite lipstick in the whole wide world is actually one that my boyfriend Rowan got me. It is the Chanel Rouge Allure Velvet lipstick, and it's in the shade Peaceful number 67. When you get it out of the pot, it really doesn't look like a shade I would love to use. I'm super into like nude brown toned lip colours, but when you put it on your lips, the colour is just so beautiful. It just looks like your own natural lips, but better, if you know what I mean. The texture's really nice, and the formula is just so pretty on your lips. They look really hydrated, and yeah, just really, really nice. The only thing is, I'm pretty sure this shade is actually discontinued. I go on the website all the time and they've got every single shade of this lipstick apart from Peaceful number 67. So I actually got this lipstick on a website where they sell kind of damaged makeup products. They're absolutely fine, completely legit, but the packaging might just be damaged or something like that. So I really wanted to buy like 10 of these, but they only had one in stock. So I'm just gonna try and make this last as long as possible because I love this lipstick so much. So I really don't use a lot. I just pop a little bit on and then I will take my lip liner brush and just kind of blend it in to the edges. With my everyday makeup look, it really depends what mood I'm in as to what lipstick I'll use. I usually grab this one. This is like my most frequently used one every day. But sometimes I like to use a matte lipstick, sometimes I use a lip gloss. It really just depends what I'm into. So pretty much anything goes with lipstick, but usually kind of pinky nudes and brown tones is what I would use. So that is our makeup pretty much done. The last thing I do is my setting spray, and surprise, surprise, it is another one from NYX. This is the Dewy Finish setting spray. Again, I have used multiple bottles of this. It's so much better than any setting spray I've ever tried. It just kind of really, I know it sounds stupid, but finishes off your makeup. If you're having a day where you've kind of applied a bit much, or you're having a dry skin day and your makeup just looks like it's sitting on top of your skin rather than blended in nicely, you just spray this over your face and it just kind of molds everything together. I really can't explain it, but it just settles everything, makes it look like your skin, makes it look so nice and glowy, and I genuinely could not live without having this product in my makeup bag. It's also really, really great for when I go to festivals, because after about the third day of applying makeup on my already dirty skin, it just looks awful and powdery and cakey, and then I just spray this on at the end and it just looks amazing again. It's so hydrated and glowy, like I've said. It also has a really nice spray, so I just give it a bit of a shake and then take a deep breath, close my eyes, and it's a really fine mist rather than doing really chunky spritzes all over your face where you are left with like water droplets. And then I just kind of fan my face to get it to dry a little bit. The only thing I do have to do is I touch it up once I have sprayed it on, just in my T-zone and my chin and my forehead with a little bit of powder, just because it does make you look nice and glowy and dewy. But I find if you start the day looking like this, you will end the day very oily and your makeup will just look too glowy. So I like to pop on a little bit of powder in the T-zone just to make it look a little bit more matte at the start of the day, and then as your natural skin oils come through your skin towards the end of the day, it will look super glowy and lush, and it just makes your makeup last that little bit longer. Oh, see, I almost forgot to tell you guys, I literally do this every single day, I always forget. So to get the black mascara off the top of your eyelids, if you've gone a little bit crazy like me and flicked it everywhere, a really good tip is, what I did for ages was use a dry cotton bud to get it off, but I actually found the other day that if you use a clean spoolie, if you close your eye and kind of rub it over the mascara that is on your eyelid, it literally just kind of flicks it off. It's really, really weird how it just works so amazingly, and it doesn't affect your eyeshadow at all. Sometimes with a cotton bud it can rub off your foundation or eyeshadow. Let me know if you guys try it out, because it is just such an amazing little tip. It doesn't affect anything but just gets rid of those messy little bits of mascara on top of your eye. Okay, so that is my finished everyday makeup look and some of my must-have makeup products as well. Let me know if any of you guys use any of my must-have products, because I'd love to know what you guys think of them too. Usually this everyday makeup look takes me around 45 minutes to an hour depending on how slow I'm going. It's obviously taken me a little bit longer today because I've been chatting to you guys about the different products and my techniques. I know some people can literally do their makeup in 10 minutes for an everyday look, but this is just what I like to do. This is how I like my makeup to look. Again, like I said, I definitely just focus more on perfecting the skin and the base rather than the eyes, and then just pop a little bit of mascara and lipstick on and I'm pretty much done, although it does take me quite a long time compared to the average person. But I hope you guys enjoyed seeing my everyday makeup look. If there are any more makeup looks of mine that you would like to see, then make sure to leave them in the comments down below. Once again, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you all next Sunday for a brand new video. Bye. Bye.